Hey guys, just recording a YouTube video here on keyword clustering. I've got a new tool that hasn't been discussed much in the SEO industry that I wanted to show you. This is what the output looks like. Before we get into this, we've got Sid here on a Google Meet with me, so he might throw in some of his question regarding keyword clustering or some ideas how else we can use that. But essentially what I've done is I've provided this tool here. It's completely free to use, by the way. So I'll put this URL quickly up here on the screen in case you guys want to visit the URL directly, or you can just search for caret2 clustering or caret2 workbench in Google and you'll find that pretty easily. And yeah, let's chat first about the applications, and then I'll walk through how to actually do this. So again, I first grabbed 3,000 keywords that I've got from, I believe, SEMrush, and that was Keyword Magic. So Keyword Magic in SEMrush. Grab all the keywords that you can find on the topic that your website is about. Ideally on the same topic, so you definitely don't want to mix like plumber keywords with electrician keywords. That would send you down the wrong path. Pick one topic only. And I would say probably around 1,000 to maybe 5,000 is a good range. More than that, the tool can probably not handle that, the clustering workbench here, because it's a web app and it's free. So they do limit how much you can do in here. But I've got some pretty awesome results. So what it's essentially done is it split up these 3,000 keywords into 152 groups. So we can see now we've got keywords around real estate agent, which contains 400-ish keywords, and keywords around Gold Coast, which is a location type of thing. But it tells you essentially what your website should be about. So this allows you then to structure your website. So you could have a folder for / locations and then / Gold Coast, for example. And then it could be / agents where you're listing the Gold Coast agents. And then again, you could have / locations, Gold Coast, and maybe properties for sale. Whatever kind of fits what you're trying to do with the website, but it should spark some ideas on how to create a logical website structure that will serve you well for the long term. Perfect. So what else do we have here? Let's explore this a bit further. This is a topic about finding a real estate agent. This could be potentially a folder structure of agent and then finding the right agent. Usually I don't like to repeat keywords. So here we have a repeat of that. But yeah, it might not be avoidable in this case. If we want to go for this type of folder structure, which you don't have to. You could just create an article directly about finding the right agent, and then you could go / finding the right agent. It could be locations, but you've already covered that here. Maybe if you want to have a separate article about cheap agents, for example, you could structure it in that way. Or you have an article about different types of agents. You've now got buyer's agents. You've got I guess there's real estate agents for investment properties, agents for investment properties, which will help you to find a place that will appreciate in value more as opposed to a place where you want to live yourself. So again, yeah, it gives you quite a good idea on how to structure the site. And then each topic that you click on, let's see here, fees in Brisbane. That could be a separate article, buyer's agent fees in Brisbane. It shows you now on the right side only the topics that should belong to that. So here's everything about buyer's agent fees in Brisbane. They seem all pretty similar on the right side. But yeah, we can see here commissions, fees, and I guess costs. These are pretty big topics. So on your website, they also need to be big topics because there's a lot of searches around them. That's essentially what this map can tell you here. Any ideas on this so far, Sid, or questions? Or yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts on, I guess, the silo structure that I'm showing here, where this would be called a physical silo structure, versus if you don't have any kind of fixed folders in your URL structure, this kind of we call it a hybrid structure, or sometimes it's called virtual silo, because you're linking, let's say, from your agent's page to your properties for sale page if it's related. And that's how you're kind of creating the interconnections as opposed to having physical folder structures. What are your thoughts on those two options? Gotcha. Yeah. I think another way this map helps us is to kind of plan out the user journey a bit. We could kind of see, okay, maybe in the beginning, in the first discovery stage, people might be typing in a location query like buyers agents near me, just to kind of feel out the water, who's there and so on. Later down the road, once they're kind of ready to make a decision, maybe they're typing in buyers agent fees. So that could spark an idea. Maybe from the location pages, we could link to the fees article, because if somebody was already looking for buyers agents in Sydney or real estate agents Sydney, maybe they want to read an article about the fees before they make a decision. So why not send them down that path anyways, now that we know that commissions and fees are such a big topic here. And I think for topical authority, everybody's talking about topical authority, but how to achieve it is, I suppose, a bit unclear. And I think this is a good way to visualize it, to say, all right, a lot of stuff here is about fees, commissions, flat fee. So definitely kind of explaining all the different types of fees. So again, you could have fees. I would put it probably fees dash commissions. And then maybe you want to have an article just about flat fees, because maybe there's enough search volume. Again, you could probably remove the fees from here because you have it in the front already. But maybe there's enough search volume around flat fees that you can have a completely separate article around that. And now you talk about buyer's agent flat fees benefits, for example, or why you should not go for a flat fee, whatever you feel is the right way there. That's up to you, but I think it's quite clear that this will build the topical authority by talking around about all of the subjects that people are searching for. The other part is to visualize kind of your topical authority map as people, places, and then I suppose things which could be services or products. So in this case, we have essentially a service, which is the service that a buyer's agent provides. Buyer's agent helps you buy a house or apartment, obviously. Then we've got the places. People are usually looking for somebody with local experience. So you can definitely create content around that, around these places as well on your website, even if it's a real estate website. Moving guides, what to consider when you're moving to Sydney. And then again, from Sydney, you link to the Sydney buyer's agents page, because that's what your website visitors are going through if they are considering to hire a buyer's agent in Sydney. And funny enough, I've seen a lot of search volume from people in United Emirates, sort of in Dubai, that sort of stuff. They search there for buyer's agent Sydney, buyer's agent Perth, because they're not in Australia yet. They are overseas somewhere, even in United States or in the United Kingdom, and they search for a buyer's agent overseas. So an article, what to consider when moving to Sydney, could definitely be interesting to them, and it fits this kind of places paradigm here. So articles about moving to XYZ. If you're doing local SEO, this can be a suburb. We've had good success with that. What to consider. Is this suburb safe? Is it a good suburb? And you can reference crime statistics and other stats about that suburb to boost your website's authority for that specific place that you're trying to rank for in local SEO. And then lastly, people. Here you can have a list of buyer's agents that exists in, like, let's say Sydney, for example, and that then again can interlink to other Sydney articles like the Sydney Moving Guide, for example. So cool. Yeah, I hope that was helpful so far. We'll probably keep it quite short and sweet. Lastly, I will show you how to upload something here. So I will refresh this actually. What you want to do is you want to select local file here. I think Lingo is fine. Then you want to download the sample file and put your data in there. Click on Browse File here. And this is the desired cluster size. So the higher you put that, the more, I guess, subfolders you are going to get. And if you reduce this, let's say you only allow it to create 10 clusters, now the tool will try to fit all of the different topics into 10 main topics, if that makes sense. So it just depends on how much detail you want to get into. Minimum cluster size just tells you what is the minimum amount of related topics that needs to exist to create one related cluster. So there need to be at least 2 articles that fit under that topic for us to have a cluster, because one article by itself is obviously not a cluster, it's just a random article, right? So that's this setting, but I think if you just start running this anywhere on 25 and 2 probably, maybe on 3, anywhere in that range should be fine. And then we've got the unique label assigner here. You upload that and then you hit cluster and you should be good to go. All right, hope that was helpful. Thank you.